Welcome back to another episode of Eric's Camping Adventures. We're going to go on another search today looking for some beautiful places. It's hard to catch a video of this in its natural environment. Ooh, there's a little better, but sun glare. Ah, there it is, a modified camping trailer. Well, welcome back to my garage. Today we're going to do a little exploring around the trailer and maybe disassemble a few things. We're going to do a little exploring with some space tolerances to see if we can get these tires into this space where the small trailer tire is. Just a little history on this trailer. It is actually the 4x8 Tractor Supply trailer that was in my original teardrop build. Then it became my compact camper, and then it became my overlanding trailer. Same trailer. So the next step is to raise the center of the hub to the center of the Honda Pilot rim and then see what things look like for spacing. Measuring my axle from hub face to hub face is actually an important exercise here in order to understand the difference between the offset of the original wheels and to try to get the Honda Pilot wheels where I want them to match up with the outer edge of the tire and rim with the upper box. The bigger and wider tires on the trailer are going to help with several things. One, traveling over an obstacle will provide much less resistance with a bigger tire. The actual broader wheelbase will really improve the handling of the trailer, being jarred back and forth by different obstacles, terrain, etc. The other real positive about doing this is I will only have to carry one spare. I no longer have to carry a spare for the trailer and a spare for the Honda Pilot separately. Just one spare. The next step is to remove the axle, and that's actually really easy right now because I have a flip kit on it, so the axle is on the bottom side of the springs. Actually, we got it all disassembled, and we're going to put the new axle in. Grease, I'm going to grease my wheel bearings first. I've got some wheel adapters to bring the 5x4.5 to the size of the Pilot rim at 120 millimeters.
And I'm going to do some cleanup on my old hanger. Got a wire brush for my power drill. I've got wheel locks and some nice looking lug nuts that will go on the outside of the pilot rims. When I bought my trailer before, the actual bearings came dry, and I had made a couple trips on it hauling some junk before I greased them. There was no damage, but it left me thinking I need to double check for grease here today. They look pretty good, actually. They look well packed. I'm just going to jam a little bit of grease between the seal and the bearing before I slide it back on here. That'll force it into the little rollers. New to me type anyway. Of the lock nut holder there. And these are well packed with grease. I'm just going to put a little bit more in there, and because I just use a copious amount when I do this. And then we'll snug it back up and we'll move on to the next item here. So the next item of business is to attach the hub adapters, and they look like they're going to be a nice fit. I still have access to the wheel bearing for maintenance, and I can leave them on permanently. The hub adapters came with a bit of some thread locker, which is pretty important to keep those on. You don't want those loosening up going down the road. Have too many junctions to worry about. One is obviously attaching your lug nuts, and then this one will be attaching your hub adapter. Don't want it to come loose going down the road. In fact, you don't really ever want to take it off. There's just a little bit of paint and dust on these studs, so I'm just going to clean them up with a brush here for a little bit. Much smoother. I'm still putting these on opposite so that they get lined up well. Says to never use an impact on these aluminum adapters. I'm going to take the instructions word for that one, and I am not going to do that. It's going to slide away from me here in a minute. and put it on the ground, and I'll show you how I'm going to snug it up. Just use an extension between your other studs, you'll be just fine. These are all bottoming out nicely. So I'm going to let the thread locker harden on the axle hubs. And in the meantime, I'm going to clean up some of the old hanging hardware for the axle flip that I did. And this axle is the same diameter, so the same hardware is going to work. It's just a little bit longer. It's going to accommodate those pilot wheels. Lots of mud, dirt, sand, grease stuck on those babies. They were actually hard to get off. I should have done that before I took them off. Now I have to make sure that it is centered and that the distance between here and here is exactly the same on both sides. Both sides measure 11 3/4 from the U-bolt to the hub. That should be exactly what we need. To install some simple 12 by 12 panels as a fender, just to meet the legal requirement of a fender. I found that fenders were pretty expensive, so I'm going to try this method.
These brackets are 135-degree angle super strut braces, and I'm going to attach 2 to the fender and then 4 to the box. And that will hopefully provide enough support. Each of these fenders cost me a total of about $30 for the hardware for bolts and washers, the super strut angles, and then for the panels that I purchased on Amazon, the 2 panels were for $20.
I think it is fit on there. Legal fenders. They match the pattern of the box. I'm going to have to get out and drive it and see if I like it or not. I don't think it's too bad. I think these flare out just a little further than I had wanted, but there's some other ways to change the angle of that. I could add some washers up on the one thing and bring it down a little bit, but I don't think it looks too bad. I think that was worth it, worth the effort. Let's get out and get it on the road.